Gifts from the Pantry class. Karen Tolman and her daughter Emily Torkelson are going to be demonstrating and giving us a whole bunch of good ideas of ways that we can do gifts from our pantry. And there's a whole bunch of really yummy things to taste at the end. So don't leave too early. All right, Karen, take it away.
Thank you. Okay, when Debbie asked me to do this, she gave me plenty of time, like maybe 3 months or maybe even longer than that. But I was involved in other things, and the time just got away, and here we are. And so I guess maybe when I've been researching, I spent like 3 weeks going through more than 20 cookbooks, coming up with ideas of things that you could do for gifts. And it was really hard to condense it into what I wanted to do. I mean, it was like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? I have way too much information, way too much stuff. And so the other day, a couple of days ago, I was making a batch of cookie dough, and it dawned on me that I have some really good recipes that I use all the time. So instead of looking for something else, which I did try things, and you will be able to taste them, I thought maybe I would show you how to make just a rolled out cookie. I don't know how many of you actually have had success doing it or even like doing it, but it's something that I've been doing for probably 30 plus years. And I remember the first time when I was first married and I wanted to make, I think it was Christmas cookies or something. And I got a recipe, and I followed it, and I put the dough in the fridge, like it says, chill the dough. Oh, what a disaster. Anyway, then I went to try and roll the dough out, and it cracks, and it's a mess. And so I just didn't even try rolled out cookies for a couple of years. And then we moved to Ridgecrest, and we lived there, and there was a lady there who was the primary president. I was one of the teachers, and she asked some of us to make cookies for a Valentine's party for the kids, an activity. And so she gave everybody a recipe, and man, it was easy, and I thought, wow, this is a great recipe. So I've used it ever since. So that's what I'm going to share with you today. But before I go into that, I just wanted to say a few things. I did try some things that I thought would be fun, things that I've been having in the back of my mind that I wanted to do. And actually, I have this handout, and it's 6 pages long, of all the stuff that I wanted to try for this class. And you know what? There's just not enough time. I did try some things, and maybe I'll talk about that after. Let's just do the cookie dough. How many of you actually make rolled out cookies? Okay, and you probably all have a recipe that works good for you. And that's great. I asked someone, or I volunteered to make cookies for a friend's wedding, her son's wedding reception, and so she gave me a cookie recipe that she wanted me to try, and I did, and it was so hard to work with that I called her up and I said, if you want me to do this recipe, I'm not doing it. I'll do my recipe if you want, but not this one. So I'm really big on finding a recipe that works for you, and that's the recipe you use. Some people, this might not be as easy, but for me, it is. So I'm going to go ahead and do it. I thought it's so easy. There's like 6 ingredients in it, and you start with butter, of course, and this recipe makes about 12 dozen cookies, depending on the size of the cookie. If you have like a small cookie cutter, you can get about 12 dozen out of this, or less if you do bigger ones.
How much butter?
This recipe, it is going to be in your handout. I haven't had a chance to type it up yet, but it's like 2 cups, so it's a whole pound of butter. And then it's 2 cups of butter, 2 cups of sugar, 6 eggs, and then 7 or more cups of flour.
6 eggs.
Yeah, in the whole thing. I cut it in half because I've already made a couple of batches of it, and I didn't want to go home and make more. Go home and do cookies again. So this is cut in half. So on this one there's a pound of butter. I'm sorry, 1 cup of butter. 3 eggs, Oh, the vanilla is, there's 4 tablespoons total, so I use 2 teaspoons. 4 teaspoons total. 3 teaspoons is a tablespoon. So I just did 2 teaspoons in this recipe. Normally you do 4 if you have the, make the whole thing. What's that one? Okay. And then,
Did you say salt?
no salt. It's got baking powder in it. It has 2 tablespoons of baking powder. And I only put 1 in this because I'm cutting it in half. So anyway, we just let the sugar, the eggs, and the butter do its thing. Okay, anyway, well at least I feed it pretty good. And I'll put on my nursery. And this recipe, normally you cream the, just like anything else, you cream the butter and the eggs together, the butter and the sugar together, add the egg and the vanilla, and then the dry ingredients. And then this one, the only thing that it is flour and baking powder. And it does, you don't have to beat it in any, you just beat the heck out of it until it's got fine. So I'm adding the flour, and the baking powder is already in here. And I'm making a mess, which is what I do at home. Even when I try not to. Okay, and that's it. It is pretty much ready. I'm going to scrape the sides down and then beat it just a tiny bit more. And it's done. And it's kind of a soft and sticky dough. And the recipe says you can refrigerate it or not, or you can just use it right off the bat, which is what I do, because anytime I try and refrigerate it, then I can't get it to roll out good. This stuff rolls out really well. Did you get me more paper towel? I forgot to bring dish towels.
Here. What I do when I do cookies, the recipe I roll it out and on the sheet and put it in the refrigerator, and then cut it, and then you shape it like a stir.
Oh, that's an idea. Did you hear
I
that?
mean, if you're trying to make this, like a little cookie cutter, then equal shapes.
She rolls it out. She rolls it out on the cookie sheet. You roll the. Oh, okay.
And roll it out and then put it on the cookie sheet on the wax paper, and then refrigerate it so it stiffens up, and then I take it out.
Good idea. That's probably why they have you refrigerated, I guess. This recipe, it doesn't get too distorted. I've noticed that if you roll it too thick, they get puffier. And I've had some that, by the time you decorate them and everything, or you frost glaze them, it's fine. Okay, so because it's a sticky kind of dough, I don't know if you can see this or not, but anyway, I roll it out in batches.
Would this recipe be good to make those ones like those log crust cookies?
What kind of cookies?
Those ones you buy for big, they're called log crust cookies.
I don't know what they are.
They're white sugar cookies with a big frosting.
Oh, like the grandma, the granny bees, or
Not those animal cookies. I think they're called log crust cookies.
Yeah, like a big sugar cookie, yeah.
We brought them around.
Yeah. These are really, this is a good recipe. It tastes really good. Plus, it's not real super sweet, but that's why you put icing on it. Or sometimes I just like them plain, but anyway, so you cut it about, roll it about a quarter of an inch. Can you open that for me? Okay, and what I'm just showing you today is we did these little trees, and it's I have a set of graduated cookie cutters, graduated sizes, and there's 6 different sizes, and after you get them baked, it's kind of hard to tell them all apart. But there is about, I think, 14 cookies on that. And so I'm just going to show you. You just go ahead and, and another thing I didn't bring was a cookie sheet. Well, I'm not going to really bake them, so it doesn't really matter, because I already have them baked. Huh? No, because I'll have to clean it up. I've been doing lots of cleaning lately. Okay, anyway, so you cut them out and you lay them on a grease cookie sheet. So I just spray it with Pam, lay your cookies out, and if I was going to do a tree like this, how many trees I'm making? I'm making like 10, then I do 30 of these. So I just count 1, 2, 3, and then 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, in my mind, so I can keep track of how many trees I'm doing. Because I do like 3 of each size. And then to make the hole, you got to make the hole in it before you bake it. So you use a straw. And I'm going to take that off. Can you do that? It would have been helpful to bring them. Okay. Anyway, it comes out.
That's bigger than the usual straw.
Yeah, this is a little bit, you know what, it doesn't matter. You can use any size because what these are is just a bamboo skewer, so you want something that's it does swell a little bit and close up when it's baking a little bit. And when you frost it, like here's some cookies frosted. The frosting sometimes sticks in the hole, but you just poke it through.
What's the white thing you're sitting?
Styrofoam?
This is a half of the styrofoam ball. Yeah, and then I just put, you have to clip the skewers a little bit, otherwise you have this really tall skinny tree. So I did judge how big I wanted it. And these things are kind of crazy because it's not straight up and down, but I figure that adds to the look. And so you just stack the cookies. Emily, you want to start doing one here? Okay. And show them. So anyway, you bake these, and when I baked this dough, I baked it at 375 for 10 minutes is what it says on the recipe. And then I took the sheets out, rotated the racks, so that the ones on the bottom I put on the top. And then I cooked it for another 2 minutes, and they came out just fine. Now, if you were to roll the dough out thick, those cookies you were talking about, the soft ones, you would roll them out thicker to do a cookie like those. But then they're kind of fragile. And you just have to be careful with them. And then to frost them, if it's the cookies I'm thinking of, I've seen them in Utah. It's like some company called, I think it's Randy B's. Isn't that the one? Oh, okay. I would just use like a buttercream frosting to do that. And what I've done on these is we didn't, when you're doing a whole bunch of these, I'm sorry, I'm making a lot of noise. I sigh a lot. I'm not used to having that here. We're putting the graduated sizes on. She's doing like 3 of each one. And then, I don't know where
It's too close to you. I'm going to put it down on the side.
I don't know how to take it off.
That's not why it's looking on, it's because you're hitting the cord.
I'm breathing. Okay. Can you hear me? No?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, you probably can hear me without the microphone anyway. Okay, when I decorate cookies, sometimes it depends on what I'm doing. Sometimes I spread buttercream icing on them. When I do hard cookies, sometimes I do that, but I like to do like a glaze, and that would be just with, it's powdered sugar and cream, or half and half, or milk if you don't have cream, or half and half. And I put in this glaze, I put in vanilla and also almond. And so I put the powdered sugar in the bowl and just add a little bit of your liquid. However, just do a little bit and beat it in. And then you want the consistency to be thicker than Elmer's glue, but not, it's like doing a glaze for cinnamon rolls or something. And it just depends, I mean, the thickness depends on how much you want it to pour. On this one, we made it, when I did some of the other cookies that I did, I probably had it a little bit on the thick side. This works fine.
That's just powdered sugar?
Powdered sugar, almond and vanilla, and cream. I had cream. Okay.
So your frosting does stay soft, it doesn't get hard, like royal and icing.
This won't get hard like royal icing now, but it does make like a little glaze on it, and it will, if you let it dry overnight, like if I would, like I did these cookies last night, I glazed them last night. Well, actually I did it yesterday, so that you're going to take, it needs to take about 4 or 5 hours for it to set, and then you can stack them, and they'll still go apart. Yeah, it's here. Do you want to show them how to do these? Okay, well, what we're going to do is just, I'm just going to show you, this is really easy. I just dip it in like that. Okay, where's that little spatula?
So is the star a cookie too?
Say that again?
The star is one of your cookies too?
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, and then I usually put them on racks because sometimes it will drip a little bit, but this works out pretty fast. I mean, frosting cookies takes time, but this is a faster way to do it. Anybody want to come try it? Anyone want to get their hands yucky and dirty? Okay, anyway. We do that, let them dry. Now the tree that Emily just put together, what the next step on that is, when you put the skewer into the styrofoam, you need to stick the end of the skewer in some glue, like white glue of some kind, and then push it down in there. Otherwise it'll, oh yeah, we just put,
Just scrapbooking paper on the bottom to help it be even.
yeah.
What is this?
Piece of cardboard.
What is the disc? This right here, it's scrapbooking paper, and then
It's a
we
tree
cut the
skirt.
edges.
Yeah. It's a tree
But
skirt.
I couldn't tell if it was a piece of cardboard, but it's just
It's
scrap.
Scrapbooking paper, but it's actually like
It's
index
hard.
card stock, it's
Cardstock.
heavier. And then you can do whatever you want. Actually, a little doily would be really cute on there, and I used to have some, and I don't know where to find them anymore that are little, that would be that size. And for the star on the top, last year when I first made these, I had bigger gumdrops, and so I just used a rolling pin and just put some sugar on the mat, rolled the gumdrop, not too flat, but rolled it so that it was smooth, and then I cut with the little star cookie cutter, cut out the star, and then you could just stick it on top. Well, I had Emily pick up gumdrops for me, and I forgot to tell her we needed big gumdrops. I mean, I didn't even think about it until she got back. Oh, here it is. And so what we had to do on these, because they were little gumdrops, we have to sandwich 2 of them together. So what I did last night is just put a little tiny bit of icing on it. And it worked. And if you let it dry, it, squeeze it, and it'll be fine. Anyway. So then, Oh, I didn't show you the glaze. Okay, you notice on this one, it's kind of got white, it's got snow. So for the snow, yeah, we used more of the same icing, in white, of course. And if this part, if it seems a little bit, if it's not runny enough, you might want to add a little bit more milk, but this is fine. And actually, I do this before I put the gumdrop on top, so the gumdrop may end up getting snowed on. Whoops, yeah. Anyway.
Karen, so we have 6 sizes of star cookie cutters.
Yeah.
And then how many of each size?
We used like 3. Actually, we only did, I didn't do all. When I got them all, that was my original goal, but I couldn't make it quite that tall. And so I just sometimes I use the little ones as filler in between. You know, when you have them all cut out and they're already glazed, you cut them out, glaze them all, let them dry, and then you're going to go ahead and get your bases ready for your trees, and then you're going to go ahead and put them together. Then you put them together like this. Yeah, if you had bigger cookie cutters, you could go for a taller tree. This is just a small little set. I've been looking for graduated stars for years, and to do this with, and I finally found that little set, and I think it was like at Home Goods in Valencia, and it was just a fluke. I mean, I just happened to be walking by the kitchen thing and saw it, and I'm like, oh. Anyway, so I got them, and it's been really fun. And then here's sugar crystals, and these are kind of chunky, and it just makes it look more frosty. Anyway, usually I put this in a box to do that with. And that's it for the tree. And we've done, like I have a set of graduated round cutters, and I made little wedding cakes, and they turned out really cute, because you just did like a couple of, I think we had 3 sizes, didn't we? 3 sizes of circles, and they were just a little stacked cookie. Yeah, they turned out really cute. Okay, so there's a lot you can do with this cookie dough. You can, with this particular recipe, you can also roll it into balls. You don't have to, roll it in sugar and bake it that way. You don't even have to roll it out. But this is the one I've been using for years. Pretty much every holiday, we do the sugar cookies and do whatever we're doing. Okay, so let me just tell you some. I'm trying to decide whether I should do the display first or just kind of go over. Okay, talking about gifts from your pantry, there is a ton of information out there. I'm sure there's stuff online. I didn't even look online because I have over 20 books that have cute, fun ideas, and plus lots of handouts I've taken out of magazines over the years. And so there's just more things than you could ever even try out there. And so I have this huge list of things. And I was thinking, oh, this would be so cute, I mean, of course, there's a lot of people that bake bread like to do cinnamon rolls at Christmas time. Who doesn't love getting that? That's a really nice gift. And I started thinking, Debbie's got this book here. What is it? Where did you put it? Oh,
It's in front.
yeah, in the back.
Oh.
And this, I don't know how many of you actually ordered this, but it's really got some great ideas. And, I mean, this is like a real dinner, or a real breakfast, or a real lunch, or whatever. That would be a good idea to really help somebody out, is to put a whole meal together for them. And that's a great thing. And there's also mixes, you've seen the layered cookie mixes, and don't we have something like that here? Yeah, there's the layered cookie mix. Pancake mixes, and I thought, how fun. I found in this book here, they have ideas for, she uses pancakes a lot, I noticed in here. And all different kinds. And you can make them up and have them already. And you can also can syrup, which I was so surprised. And so I practiced. They have a recipe for coconut syrup. My daughter is in Hawaii right now. And this daughter went out to see her and brought back a bottle of coconut syrup, and it was so good. And I thought, oh, I'm going to try that. So we did. We made coconut pancakes and coconut syrup from this book, and it was pretty good. And I thought, how fun would that be to make a mix-up and have can your own syrup and give it to somebody as a gift? That would be really cool. And then I started thinking about it. I thought, okay, there's all kinds of mixes, muffin mixes. This is a applesauce muffin mix, you could give to somebody. And you can also do, like Debbie did for Young Women's about 5 years ago for camp fundraiser. Debbie has a great recipe that we used and made chocolate chip cookies. Oh, yeah, white chocolate. Yeah, there was a whole bunch of variations you could do. We had like 5 different things, and people would order them, and we made up all the dough, and the girls all came and helped, and rolled it into like blocks, and put it in foil, and then delivered it to people's homes, and then they just keep it in the freezer. And you know what? I bought some, and it was good. And it was so convenient to have it in the freezer. It's just like pumpkin fresh dough. It was really great. Only it tasted better because it was homemade. And so that's kind of neat. You can have, like, if somebody refrigerated dough that you made yourself. That would be a good thing. And then I started thinking about all the different times I've had people give me mixes. Like I've had a couple of pancake mixes that were, when I got them, I thought, oh, this would be so cool. I can hardly wait to do it. So I set it in my pantry shelf, and about 3 years later, I found it. And I thought, oh, I should have tried it. So you want to be careful of what you're giving to somebody. You don't want to go to all the effort if it's not appropriate for the person. If they're not a person who's going to make up the pancakes, then give them cookies and they can eat right then. Or, think about that. And even when I was looking at these pancakes, I thought, well, I like to make pancakes. I like to buy my meat the day I'm making the pancakes. And so I don't necessarily want it sitting on my shelf. So some of those things I probably wouldn't do. But let's see, there was just so many great little ideas. So I tried a few things, and this is cherry and cream baby cakes, and they're little stones, and there's actually some over there that you can taste that they have dried cherry in them and mini chocolate chips. And I think they need to be warmed up. I think they probably would taste better if they were hot, So I don't know what they're going to taste like cold, but they were tasty. That would be a nice little gift for somebody who likes breakfasty things. Also, there's a recipe, and I didn't have time to make it, called cinnamon puffins, and they're little muffins, and they're really good. They almost taste like donuts, where you dip them in butter and roll them in cinnamon sugar after they're baked. And they're really yummy. Probably not really good for you, but they're really good. And then I thought, okay, something I've always wanted to do was, I wanted to learn how to make crackers. And maybe I should talk about that for a minute. So I decided that I was going to make crackers. So you guys get to taste the crackers, because I did make crackers at the beginning of the week. And, you have to roll them really thin. And so I had in about 4 or 5 different books that had recipes for different kinds of crackers. And so I made, I made 5 different kinds. And they were easy. They were so easy. I thought, oh, this is good. But there were some of them I didn't like so much. So you can try them and see what you think. The first ones I did were called Rich and Buttery Crackers, and I got them out of a Gooseberry Patch Christmas book. And they looked good, but then I baked them in, I said to use a 2-inch cookie cutter to cut it out with, and they were really easy to roll out and cut. And they tasted good, but when they baked, they kind of shrunk up instead of spreading out or anything. So they're smaller than I thought they would be. but you get to taste the little taste and see what you think. And then I did crispy wheat crackers, which, no, I didn't. Did I do those? Yes, I did. I did sesame whole wheat crackers out of a book called, it's a book I got from Debbie, the food storage book. I didn't read it, I'm sorry, I should have. It has some great food storage recipes.
Those are really good, I just tried them.
Yeah, they are good. They have like sesame seeds, whole wheat flour. Man, I should have brought that book. And Cooking with Food Storage Made Easy, that's the name of that book.
Yeah.
And those crackers I really liked. And so to do those, you mix up, it had just a very few ingredients. It used oil instead of butter. Some of the recipes wanted to use butter. And I thought, you know, if you wanted to learn how to make these with just your food storage stuff, you didn't want to use oil. So I just did it in a great big bowl, and it was a small amount of flour, like 1.5 cups of flour or something like that, and a little bit of, a third of a cup of oil, and a fourth of a cup of sesame seeds, and there was a little bit of salt in it, and I can't remember what else. But it'll all be in your handout. You can try it if you like it. You can try it. But you just mix the dough with your hands in the bowl and just kind of knead it in the bowl a little bit. And then I have one of those baking stones, so the rectangular kind. So I just rolled it out on the stone. And that worked out great because you know how sometimes it's a little hard to, you want it thin, but you'll have patches where there's no dough at all. So as it's rolling off the edge of the stone, I'm picking it up the pieces and just slapping it in there in the holes and just rolling over it. It worked out great. And then just trimmed around the edge of that stone, and then you take a pizza cutter and just cut those things like that and bake them. Well, you have to prick them with a fork, I think, and then you sprinkle salt on it. And then you bake it. And they came out. They were easy, and that was really fun to do. So I would probably do those again. And then I found cheese, I think it's cheese crisp crackers is what they were called in the same book, and they used the powdered cheese in it too. And I think that they were pretty good, but I think they'd be, my powdered cheese is like old powdered cheese that I've had in the freezer for a long time, and I use it all the time. But I think if you had a newer batch of cheese, it might have better flavor, I don't know. And then I also made, there's a couple other kinds over there that you can try, and I thought, okay, you could give somebody like a bowl of crackers, your own homemade crackers, with some cheese. And this is, well actually I got the wrong tag on this. This is an herbal cheese that is very easy with cream cheese and I can't remember what else in it. But if you give this to somebody, of course they have to keep it in the fridge until they're going to use it, but you can just squeeze it out and put it on your cracker. So do you want to put this over there? Because that's going to be the tasting stuff. And here's another one. This is an Italian. This cheese here is a 8-ounce cream cheese and like half a package of dry Italian dressing mixed together, and it's easy and it's pretty good. Anyway, so we have some of these other ideas. This represents Santa's kettle corn, Santa's favorite kettle corn, which I really wanted to try, but I didn't have time. And this bag is a Lay's potato chip bag turned inside out, just in case you want it. Of course, you give it to somebody and they're going to go, oh, how cheap are they? They're using that little bag. But I like the way it looks on the inside. So, anyway, there's all kinds of things you can reuse again, of course. An oatmeal container that you can put your popcorn in, and peanut butter goodies, which actually came from that Cooking with Food Storage Made Easy, and they're peanut butter cookies, and they use whole wheat flour. They're really pretty good. Let's see. And then this is my cousin Sharon. It says Sharon's Delicious Fudge. And it really is pretty good. At least it has been in the past. And I just made this up last night. I haven't tasted it yet. So here's hoping it's still delicious. Anyway, these cans. These are those little chicken cans from canned chicken from Costco. of these cans. And I actually have like a little collection of them because I use them to make little cakes and stuff. They're good baking tins. But you can just pour. This has got these little cans have a strip of scrapbook paper, just a label around it. Okay? Say that again? No, on the top, there's a little piece of wax paper cut to fit on the inside. And, you know, if you have a plastic lid, I didn't even check my, lid drawer to see if there's a plastic lid that would actually fit. There could possibly be, but I didn't check. Anyway, I really liked the tins. I thought the tins were a fun idea. I noticed the first person that gave the class had a granola recipe. This is called Good For You Granola, and this is a recipe that Pam Somers, I don't know if any of you remember Pam Somers, that was here a long time ago. She cooked a lot with wheat and all kinds of grains, and she gave me this recipe, and we use it all the time. And that's, I make it up, keep it in my freezer. Raspberry muffin mix, cookie mix. This box right here is a little foil box, and it has little cherry baby tarts inside. So that, you could, when you're going to throw things away, think about it. Think, hey, what can I use that for? You could do, this box is too little, but if you use like a wax paper box, you could do like a roll of Debbie's dough in there, and they could, wrap it cute and tell them to keep it in their freezer. That would work. And here, I forgot to tell you, I made graham crackers too. I always wanted to try the graham crackers, and I have 3 different recipes, and so I kind of did a combination. I tried the one out of the food storage made easy because her recipes were the easiest to work with. And so these are homemade graham crackers, and this is frosty snow dip, which is buttercream icing. So you can give somebody a little bag that has crackers and icing in it. And this is a dinner. This is a bad meal from whatever it says. And then also with the sugar cookies, if you have cookie cutters, you can do, beef stroganoff dinner. This is a tag, that you could give somebody. I think several years back, when Emily was in high school, she made cookies for her friends that spelled out their names. And that was kind of fun. And then there's also little Mod Podge boxes that you can do. You can buy these little boxes at Michael's and Joann's, I think. They're the little paper mache boxes, and they're not real expensive. And you want to explain how to do that? Almost the one you taught me.
All I didn't go right to the edges with the paper because I like to have it looks a little like distressed when you see the balls through, So all I did was cut paper, the right size. I measured it out with a paper cutter. So I just cut paper right so you can see like a little bit of the box edge. So I did all of my paper first. So I cut all of that. I chose a different pattern for the top. So I did the same thing at the top, cut strips to fit all of the sides. And then this is just like a wooden knob that I got at Michael's. I got all of this stuff at Michael's. And I just painted it the color that I wanted. And after, you have to paint it a couple coats to get it the right color. And then I used Mod Podge, which is really easy to work with if you guys have that. But I just, went over.
Mod Podge is like a glue. It just glues the paper down and gives it a finish.
It gives it a shiny finish. So I did the knob as well as the paper. So what I did first was I put some Mod, because you can get bubbles like this one right here. I messed up. But if you put Mod Podge on just with like a foam brush, just with a foam brush, you don't have to mix it with water or anything. You just put it straight on. And then I put half the paper on and I smoothed it. And then I did the other side. So you only do half at one time. You don't do the whole thing and then put the paper on because you're going to get bubbles and it's hard to smooth out. So I put it on, and then after that dried, actually I just did each side, and by the time I was back with my first one, it was ready to go over again. So I just did a couple coats all over just so it gets a good finish and so it won't fall off. And then the top as well. It's very easy. And then all we did with the knob is we just screwed it in. So you have to get a screw that's not too long that's going to go through the top of the knob, so you have to judge that you have the right size screw. And all you do is hold this and hold the knob in the back and just screw it in, and that's it. And it looks really cute, and people are like, oh, where'd you get that box? And we made it, so it's really
And
fun.
you can put toffee in it, which is what we did last year. And they were really very good. Okay, so there's that. And then we found this idea in a magazine, this Food Gifts magazine. They had a ton, I can see a little flags, I flag all the pages. All my cookbooks look like this right now. Anyway, a CD envelope. And we can just do, these are two little gingerbread boys. And here's a couple of trees. It would be kind of fun if you were going to do individual something for somebody. You wouldn't want them really thick. This is pretty as thick as it should be. And then they also had an idea. They have a little snowman, but I didn't have a cute enough snowman cutter, so I didn't do it. That they put inside of, this is just a sandwich bag, and they had a snowflake paper in the background, scrapbook paper, and they had this little snowman in it and a label on the front that said, hi, my name is Frosty. You know those, hi, my name is. Anyway, it was cute. Okay, let me, what else? Yeah, this, oh, yeah, the popcorn. Okay. Let me make sure that I've said everything that you're gonna taste. Okay, I don't have a display of the popcorn here. I found a recipe. I thought, popcorn's a good thing. Something everybody usually has in their food storage, and I have a couple of really good recipes that I've used in the past a lot. I have one for screaming yellow zonkers that I use all the time. And so this time, instead of giving you that, I tried a recipe out of the Lion House Christmas cookbook called Honey Taffy popcorn. And I liked it because it's got a honey flavor. Emily didn't like the honey flavor. But what I did on that is if you cook it according to the directions, it has honey, cream, and sugar. And basically that's it, and popcorn. And then you put a little bit of baking soda in when it's cooked and some vanilla and pour it over your popped corn. And then it's kind of sticky and it's more like taffy. And then to make it a little bit drier, you put it in the oven at 250, or less, and just let it be in there for like 10 minutes, stir it around a little bit. And so the one that I did, that I actually, the time before I didn't dry it out, and it was really chewy, and I liked it that way, but it's kind of sticky. This one I dried out, and I don't know if I like it, which way. But anyway, you can taste it over there. And another thing that I was thinking of, one of the several of the books that I had, I don't know if you have a gingerbread cookie recipe that you like. I do have one that I really like. And you can make a bowl out your gingerbread, lay it over a greased bowl, and trim the edge, put it on a baking sheet, and you can cut out little cutouts with cookie cutters if you want, and then bake it. And I think you bake it for like 15 to 20 minutes, and then after it cools, you pop the gingerbread bowl off of it has to be an oven-proof bowl, and then you have a gingerbread bowl, and then you put tissue in it and add a bunch of cookies, so you have it. You're giving a gift that they can actually eat. Another book had little boxes that you cut out rectangles and squares out of the gingerbread after you roll it out, and then use royal icing to put it together and make little boxes like a gingerbread house, and then you can stuff it with little gingerbread boys. That was really cute. I just didn't have time to do all those things. let's see. Oh, and also, I was thinking, all right, I have a brownie recipe that I really like too. My daughter swears by Betty, I think it's Betty Crocker's somebody's brownie. She likes, she makes everything. I mean, she's a really good cook, and she does catering, and she uses the brownie mix, but I like doing homemade ones. And there's a recipe that I got online called Baker's One Bowl Brownies, and it is so fast. You just throw everything in the bowl and stick it in the microwave, and then you pour it out in your pan, and it takes maybe, I bet it doesn't even take 5 whole minutes. Maybe it takes 5 minutes to mix it up, pour it in the pan, and it takes another 30 to bake. And you can do a lot of variations with those. Sometimes I put chocolate chips in the batter. Sometimes I put, I've done layered mint brownies, but I make that brownie, and then I make buttercream icing and add mint extract to it and green food color, and you spread that on top, and then put it in the fridge, and then when that's cold, then you mix chocolate chips and butter together in the microwave. Make like a glaze, and then you just pour that, spread that over the top, and then refrigerate it again. And when it's all hard, then you cut it. There is some over there. The buttercream icing is a little bit, I didn't color it green, but it's a little bit soft. It was a little softer than it should have been, so they're a little gooey. But that just gives you a taste. And you can also stick candy in your brownies. I mean, you can put, I do have one that's got peanut butter cups in it. I've done Hershey Kisses in it before.
Peppermint